guys, what's up? How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. We are going to be talking about 2022 releases. There were some really great ones this year and really not so great. So I'm going to be sharing my favorite releases of these years and then my not so favorite ones. If this is your first time here, I'm Gigi. I review luxury beauty. If you love that kind of content, do make sure to click on the red button down there that says subscribe, and also go to my Instagram because over there we share a lot more makeup goodness and beauty stuff. So without further ado, let's start. Alrighty friends, so I scooch to my right because I'm gonna be showing you pictures right here. I don't want to be very specific and show you the product and talk about it very in depth because then this is gonna be 100 years long. I already reviewed all of them, so if you're curious, go ahead and look those up, and I'm gonna link as much as I can down below. If you're a subscriber of mine, then you probably know this, but I love some blush, and Patrick Ta released a beautiful one this year that I'm obsessed of. I just love it so much, you guys. He released just blushing in a single compact. Such a beautiful and stunning blush to this day. I grab for these the powder equally to the cream. They are together the most perfect blush on earth in my opinion. It is my favorite blush in my whole collection. It gives you a beautiful sheen. It looks so natural without, you know, just emphasizing anything. It's just perfection in my eyes. I absolutely adore cheese blushing, so for sure that was one of my favorite releases of 2022. Next up we have some Natasha Denona, and I thought I'll bring them out because I love them so much. You guys, these palettes are everything. I absolutely love them. I love the fact that you get a beautiful cream blush and then a beautiful highlighter, and then you get the most basic eyeshadows of life that gives you just an absolute perfection on your eyelids. Like Natasha, she just knows too much. She knows what she's doing, of course, and this is just stunning. This is the deeper version. I love them equally. I love them so much. One of my favorite releases of this year. We do one good and we do one bad, and one really bad one for me was also by my beloved Patrick Ta. So he's released his holiday palette, and oh my goodness, such a bad palette in my opinion. No shade to his brand because I absolutely adore his products, but that palette was just something not good for me. It had a ton of shimmer. It just emphasized every pore in my cheeks, every pimple, everything. He had that glossy highlighter in it that it just didn't do any good. It was very sticky and glossy, and I just don't like those kind of things, those kind of highlighting products. I'm not a huge fan. Oh my god, I was so excited for his holiday release, and it was just a huge disappointment. If you ask me, that was the hugest disappointment of 2022. And the next bad is by my dear Charlotte Tilbury. So she's released the Beautiful Skin Foundation, and this was something not good for me. It really do no good to my complexion. I have combination skin. It was just a bipolar foundation in my opinion. Like some days it looked very good and some days it looked very bad, like very bad. Like it just emphasized everything on my face, my pimples, my dry patches, my hyperpigmentation is just not a good look. So yeah, that foundation is no longer in my collection. I feel like it was just not a good release of 2022. A beautiful release of 2022 were the Gucci blushes. I am holding one here which is in the shade Warm Berry, and it is also one of my most used favorite blushes of this year. These make you look very poreless. They apply beautiful. If you pick up a lighter shade, they're gonna be less pigmented. You have to build them up. Like in my complexion, I have a lighter shade. I build them up and I'm happy with that. I have no shade in that. But if I pick up Warm Berry, like I have to be very careful because I can end up with clown cheeks in like 1 second, very quick. So I love these blushes. They last really good on my complexion. They are very beautiful in softening, and they're very perfecting. They make me look poreless. Beautiful blushes. I know that they're pricey, but I mean, European luxury, and the packaging, it's just everything to me. I just like to have all of them because the packaging is just that cute, and they're very comparable to my most used and favorite blushes of all time, which is by Hermes. I did a comparison video. I'll post a picture right there. I compared the Hermes with the Gucci. Go check out that video. I absolutely adore my Hermes blushes, and this is something very comparable. Another bad one. Oh my god, my dear Charlotte, you'll have to forgive me. These come in a combo, the concealer and the powder. This is an unpopular opinion. Her concealer everyone loves. This concealer just really emphasized my dark circles so much. It was just extremely glowy, and it had too much specks of something. It's not glitter. It was a very sheeny. Like, it was just too much for me. I could not stand it. Like, I will go upstairs in my washroom light and it just mortified me. I just hate that concealer. It's just, it was such a good formula though, don't get me wrong. Beautiful formula, extremely long wearing. The coverage, it was beautiful, but why would you put so much shimmer or mica or whatever it is in it to make it so, like, I don't know, like, I don't like to brighten my under eyes. That's just something that I don't like, and that's the reason why I didn't really like her finishing powder. Like, I know it's not meant to be a setting powder, it's meant to be a finishing, a highlighting powder, but I don't know, I just didn't find any way to use it. I didn't find a point to using something like that. I want something to set, so I just stick to her regular powder, to be honest. If you ask me, I don't feel like that was a necessary least. I don't know, that's just my makeup preferences. I don't use powders like that. You're supposed to use it, you know, the high points of your cheeks, but to me, if I did it that way, it didn't do anything. I had to like really pack it on, and then it just looked great on my complexion. And that white powder, I think it was meant for light, fair, and medium. I'm medium, so don't tell me to go and get the yellow, because if I'm medium, it should suit me, and it didn't. So I know I was not happy with that release. My dear Charlotte and I had a big beef and a big problem. I reviewed both of those products. Again, go check out those videos if you want to see a little bit more. Now let's talk the good, because we have more good than bad. And Natasha, My Dream collection was also a beautiful release of this year. I absolutely adore this palette. I just adore it. Is everything that I need and more. I truly believe she went on, you know, looking at all her palettes and just created this masterpiece. Beautiful. I love it. Such a high quality, such a curation of shades. It's just like, I'm so passionate about this palette because it's just absolutely perfection to my eyes. On the other hand, the face palette is not meant to be used for medium and deeper complexions. I don't know, you'll have to forgive me, but that palette went back to Sephora was a disappointment for me. It was a disappointing for me, to be honest. I would have loved to see two palettes on her Dream collection. I would, because she's very fair, so of course her Dream palette is gonna be suited for her complexion, even though all her models are very like rich skin, and she somehow made that palette work. It just did not work for me. It was just too icy, too ashy. It was just not a good look. That trio was not for me. The palette, on the other hand, chef kiss. Chanel had very good releases this year, and we're gonna talk about these three as one release. And even though they weren't one release, I really like Chanel tweeds. I picked out two. This one is the one that was just here, Fab, but I also love the more neutral one. This is beautiful. It is very soft, very soft. Let me repeat, very soft. So if you wanted something very natural and soft and sophisticated to your eyelids, this is gonna be for you. If you're looking for Pat McGrath and Natasha, you know, pigment, stay away. because it's not it. This is for days where I travel. I love to take quads like these, and they're beautiful. I really like the goldeny one, and I don't know what it is. I think I have it in my purse upstairs. I try to look it up, but yeah, I review this if you're interested. I felt like between the two, that one I liked more because it was much more pigmented. This is a little bit more, you know, I'm just lacking a little, but nonetheless, I feel like this tweed collection as a whole was a really nice one. Next up, their bronzer. I absolutely love this bronzer, and it's looking very bad, very beat up. It's been loved. Let me tell you that it's been quite loved. And it's been loved by my toddler as well, because apparently he went digging into my powder bronzer and he made a mess in my desk. But you know, it's here, going strong. I love this one. This is such a beautiful, beautiful bronzer. It just melts onto your cheeks. It gives you beautiful pigmentation. I have the shade Sunbath Deep. This is just stunning. It truly makes you poreless, and like, you know, it's just that kind of like Charlotte's bronzer, you know, like that, but deeper and beautiful. Charlotte's tan shade is just red. This is just good. This is perfect for someone with medium complexion that don't want to look red. I love this one. Oh my god, cannot say enough good things about it. It is glued to my vanity. Every time I'm doing my makeup, I'm looking for this specific bronzer because it is that good. And one of my latest obsessions is their holiday highlighter in the shade Rosé. This is also such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful highlighter. It was just a standout of the collection. I reviewed their eyeshadow. It was okay. I talked about that in a previous video. It is an okay palette. I mean, it's not really that holiday-ish if you ask me, but this was a standout for me. Love. Let's give Hourglass some love because they did try. They could have done a little bit better, to be honest, but I think they tried. They did, and it's good for me. I'm not gonna complain because I feel like they did better than previous years. You could customize the packaging if you wanted to. I feel like this is stunning. Such a work of art. Of course, it was done by an artist. I wish that the bronzer here, the Elephant is the only palette that you get a bronzer, and I wish it was a little bit deeper, to be honest. I have to really build this up, you know, to give me, you know, that bronzy look that I like. But this is beautiful. The Elephant is my favorite, to be honest, because it's just so user-friendly. I use it and it's easy when I'm on the go. This is it. Like, I have it upstairs and I use every single shade in here. The finishing powders are beautiful in my complexion. The blushes, again, the highlighter, everything really works for my medium complexion. And this is the medium palette. Very, very suitable for me. It's perfection. Then the deeper palette is very unique. Very unique. These I use as a bronzer, which is a finishing powder with somebody with deeper complexion, but it is stunning. I really like this release. I felt like Hourglass did really good. These powders just work. They just look beautiful on everyone. Like, they just soften every line in the most perfect and beautiful, like a beautiful way. The highlighters are just stunning. Like, these shades are very unique, and that's why I feel like, again, this is something that I would use for fall, and I used it for fall. Now I'm just like, you know, this is very fall, but with somebody for like with deep complexion, I feel like this is good. Like, this orangey blush is so nice. These blushes are pretty. This rose gold shade here I use all over my eyes, and it's yummy. And yeah, so Hourglass, it was just a really good release. Another not so good release for me was this foundation by Makeup Forever. It is an unpopular opinion. I do feel like some people really love this foundation, which is not for me. Again, just was heavy. I am very, very particular on my foundations because I have combination skin, and sometimes my skin just wants to be dry, and it just wants to be weird, and it wants to be you know, like dry and oily all at the same time. And I know it's hard for a foundation to really keep up, but that foundation was just really not for me. A really nice one this here is this Givenchy. I was looking to see if I had it here because I'm always using it, but I don't have it here. But anyhow, this Givenchy foundation, beautiful. Such a nice matte but natural and long wearing and perfecting foundation. I absolutely adore. Is a holy grail of mine if you are, you know, if you have combination skin and you suffer from dark patches. I think that that foundation will really do you good. So yeah, that was a really good release of 2022. I'm gonna give a shout out to Married Beauty because I feel like they're very underrated and they do release beautiful products throughout the year. They release their signature lipsticks, which are absolutely gorgeous. The packaging is everything. If you like a glowy lipstick, this one is for you. Such a nice formula. Their lip oils are one of my favorites. I love them. This is a very dark one that I just recently tried, and they also released this bronzer. Again, I have reviews on all these products, so I don't want to be very in-depth, you know, on them, but these were such beautiful releases for 2022. I love them, so I wanted to give them a quick shout out. I wanted to see any Married Beauty applied on my face. Check out my videos because I have quite a few of them. I'm a big fan of the brand, to be honest, so those are going to be featured in a recent video they were, or they're going to be featured very soon. Another recent release is this one by Makeup by Mario. This eyeshadow palette, the Ethereal eyeshadow palette, one of my most used palettes in my collection at the moment. I really like this palette. I feel like this was a standout release of this year. Very basic but very good. Quite powdery, but that's not a problem for me, to be honest. As long as I keep the pigments on my eyes, I don't mind a little bit of kickback. They do have quite a bit of kickback. I am being truly honest, but again, I don't seem to mind it. I feel like this formula is very nice. I love the shimmers. They give you that glossy and beautiful eye look appearance, and I feel like this is a very good release of 2022. And then the newest release in my collection are these Rare Beauty highlighters. I am obsessed with them. I have the shade Flaunt, if you're wondering. I reviewed these two. I have Mesmerize and Flaunt. If you wanted to see them in action, go ahead and check out my video. But this is such a beautiful highlighting powder. They're very intense, but I have no complaints. I have zero complaints on them. I feel like this was such a nice release by Rare Beauty. Rare Beauty is a really nice brand. Like, most of the products that they release I really like. So yeah, that's it, friends. We're wrapping up 2022 with all these favorite videos. I love to watch them. Give me any ideas of products or videos that you really want to see before the year ends. I am again just wrapping up with all my favorites. You know, I'm doing like top 10 eyeshadow palettes, top 10, you know, foundations. All those videos are coming slowly but surely. Give me any ideas of things, you know, that you wanted to see from me. Thank you so much, you guys, for always loving, commenting, liking, supporting. It really makes a difference. Again, it really lets YouTube know that you're liking my content, and so it can be pushed a little bit out. So I thank you so much for all the love and support that I've received this 2022, and I cannot wait to see what 2023 brings for all of us. All the videos will be coming until the year ends. Fingers crossed I don't get extremely busy, but yeah, drop your video recommendations. Thanks so much.